Please note, this episode contains discussions of sexual assault and sexual harassment that may be disturbing for some listeners.
Welcome to The Perch. I am your co-host, Angelina.
And I'm your co-host, Kenna. How was your spring break? We're back.
What's up? We are back from spring break. I am excited to... I don't know. What am I excited for?
We're excited to talk about video games today.
Yes, with the new Fallout show that came out.
Yes.
I know I never played the actual game, but I've seen bits and pieces of the show.
I know I like years ago I started playing Fallout 4 and then I never finished it, but like I'm a fan of the concept. So I'm like 3 episodes in. I like it a lot. I know like one thing they were saying in a lot of like the press about the show was that it's an original story, like separate from the games.
Yeah, I was hearing that too.
But like in the same universe.
I think it's supposed to be set like a few years after the games.
Oh, okay.
From what I've heard.
Okay.
Don't quote me on this. I'm not the expert here. This is just from like things I've heard around the block.
Yeah, but it came out on April 10th, and then it has 8 episodes. It's already been renewed for a second season too.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited though. I'm excited to finish it. But I know like one thing, I don't think it'll get canceled, but like, oh my goodness. Sometimes Amazon will be like, we're renewing a show, and they'll be like, we're canceling the show we just renewed.
I hope it doesn't get canceled. Even though I haven't like seen it, from like the clips that I have seen, it seems pretty good.
Yeah.
And that'd be really sad and like a waste of the cancel the second season.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I really like it. The only... Again, like, I can't really compare it to the games because I haven't played much, you know? Because, like, I think my first introduction to Fallout was, like, they had these little mobile games, and so, like, when I would look on the App Store when I was in, like, middle school, I'd be like, oh, Fallout, and I'd just be like, then I keep scrolling, but, like, you know, when I started playing console games, you know, I was like, oh, okay, like, this is here, this has been, like, the first game came out in 97.
That is crazy.
And the most recent one, Fallout 76, came out in 2018. So, yeah, it's been going on for a while. And I haven't heard about any new releases of the game, but, like, I think the show is a good thing to keep, like, the fandom going, in my opinion. That's usually the case. Adaptations are good for that.
Yeah, I like it. From the clips that I've seen, I really like the style and the look of the show. Mm-hmm. Like, have you seen Umbrella Academy?
I have not, but I've seen, like, stills and clips of it on TikTok and stuff.
I don't know why, but the show, like, it just reminds me of that show. I think it's, like, the coloring or, like, the songs. I don't even know. I just like that show a lot too. Umbrella Academy, that's a good watch.
Yeah, because I know one thing is like they very consistently in the show, like they're always playing songs from like the 50s and the 60s because the way the lore works in Fallout, if I remember correctly, is like there's like this period of divergence, I think in the 50s or 60s.
Yeah. You
know, because like one thing, like there are years in the future. I think they're years in the future, like decades from where we are right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, their clothes are still very reminiscent of, like, the 50s and the 60s, you know, with the big skirts, you know, and, like, just, like, the silhouettes of their dresses and stuff like that, and even, like, even the technology, you know, and so it's just, the styling of Fallout has always been really fun, so it's really cool to see it, you know, in live action with real people.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure of, like, the story of Fallout, but, like, it's like in 50s, 60s where they like film things like there's videos or
no, because like the way it works is like I think the point of divergence comes around like 1950, 1960 from what I understand.
Okay.
And then like there's some divergence in the way that things go in the timeline, so it's not like our timeline. It's not like they just pick back up 50s and 60s dress like decades in the future. Like no, there's a point something happened where they just didn't change their fashion sense as drastically as like we see it now.
Okay.
You know, it's like that's the difference. Like they're still in the future, but like they just kept the same dress and the same kind of like style of technology, just like very advanced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am very much a noob to this whole to Fallout, so I'm like I'm trying to learn here.
Yeah, no. Now I have to play the game. Because I like the show. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to watch the second season when it comes out.
Yeah.
I'm watching you, Amazon.
Doesn't the actor who plays Rico in Hannah Montana, he's in that?
I think so, yeah. He plays like the main character, Lucy Mc... Is it it's her name's first name's Lucy. Can't remember her last name. I was just watching the show last night. But yeah, no, they play. He is the brother
yeah,
of the main character. Yeah.
That's like, I only saw the part where he's like hacking into the computer, and I think one part of like when he's hacking into it is like from the games.
Oh, okay.
That's what my boyfriend said. So if I'm wrong, blame him.
Yeah, but like it's just really, interesting with all the video game adaptations coming out recently. Because I know last year in January, the Last of Us adaptation came out.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, I don't care what anyone says, I love that show. It was so good.
That show was good. Like, even though like I didn't play the game either. I don't play a lot of video games. I don't know. I just didn't grow up playing a lot. But even though I didn't play the game, the show itself was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, because I played both games prior to the show coming out. I had finished both games before the show had even been announced, and so it was really cool when it got announced, with, Pedro Pascal playing Joel and Bella Ramsey playing Ellie,
Yes.
But it was just like, I was really excited because Neil Druckmann, who wrote the game, was also working on the show as well as Craig Mazin, who's the creator of the show Chernobyl on HBO, which is also a really good watch. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it was just really exciting to see.
Yeah.
It was like some parts beat for beat were just like the games.
Yeah, like the first part, I know that, like the first part, like in the car when they're like driving away.
Yeah.
I saw like comparison.
Yeah.
Like clips of those, and I was like, whoa,
yeah,
that's
they
kind of
filmed
crazy.
in the opening scene on Outbreak Day. The way that like Sarah moves around in the back of the truck is the way that you can move her character around in the game.
Yeah.
Like the camera shots were like exactly the way that third person is in the game, and I was just like, it was really made for fans of the game,
Yeah.
But then they really, especially with like Bill and Frank's character, they definitely, brought these characters to life more than they did in the games, and I already don't have any complaints about the games. So it's just like, wow, my gosh, it got better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was just, I was really impressed with the show.
That show was amazing. I just watched like the first episode because it was like popular, and I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. That first episode made me cry. And I cried multiple times through that show.
Yeah.
No joke. It was emotional.
Yeah, it was. And I know because I know when Bella Ramsey first got announced for their casting, they got a lot of hate. And one thing, it was weird because Bella Ramsey, goodness, like, they were a minor when they started filming.
Yeah.
And like, I know one thing, some people were just like, oh, like Bella Ramsey isn't attractive enough to play Ellie, who, mind you, is a 14-year-old girl. Why are we talking about her like this?
Yeah, I heard that controversy too, but like why?
Exactly, but like I had, even though I've never met Druckmann, I was like, he loves the game. Like, that's always been something that's been so clear over ever since it came out, that he is a big fan of what he's made. And so like, I feel like we had to put, as like, fans of the game had to put trust in him to, cast the right person, and I think Bella Ramsey was the right person,
I think so too.
Yeah, like, they definitely had the spirit of Ellie, I don't think while it is fun to see a person look like the character, at the end of the day, it's not the most important thing, like, I had heard of Bella's performance in Game of Thrones, when, like, Bella was still, like, in elementary school, and like it was praised to high heavens, and so I was just like, yeah, like I don't worry about the acting point of it, and I watched it, especially with her interaction, spoilers for the show and the game, but her interactions with David, later in the show, and like when they're in the town in the winter.
Is that the creepy guy?
Yeah, the creepy guy, the creepy cannibal guy. Yeah, and I know, like, because that scene, it's terrifying to play in the game, because you just, all of a sudden, you're starting to play as Ellie when you've been playing as Joel for the entire game.
Really?
Yeah, I know, sorry for the spoilers, but...
No, I think this podcast episode is full of spoilers, just to mind
We'll
you.
put a disclaimer.
Yeah.
But, like, the way it goes is, like, you're playing as Joel, because the game is broken down to seasons, and you're playing as Joel, and then he gets injured the same way he does in the show,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden you start the winter season, and you're playing as Ellie. With less weapons, obviously less strength, because she's not this, like, 56-year-old tank of a man.
Yeah.
She's a 14-year-old girl, who's rightfully scared, you know,
Yeah.
because her you know, what's becoming her father figure is injured, and she has to fend for both of them in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
And so it was really scary playing it in the game, you know. But one thing, because before the game came out and then as the episodes progressed, one thing that was discussed was, you know, the sexual assault aspect of it. Because in the game, I thought it was pretty, you know, it was implied, nothing was ever explicitly said.
Yeah.
But, you know, especially as, like, a girl playing the game, you know, and now, like, a young woman, it was very clear what he was implying in the game.
Yeah.
You know, but then in the show, you know, even just with, like, the sound design, you know, it was so obvious. It was so obvious, but, like, apparently some people didn't realize. Mostly men, when they were playing the game, they didn't realize.
That would probably make sense. I feel like a lot of things that women like see, or like different signs, or like parts of your gut, like a lot of guys don't quite understand it.
Yeah.
Not saying that all guys don't understand it, but I feel like women are much more attuned to like noticing signs. It's like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, because we're always taught to be like so wary of everybody.
Yeah.
You know? And so it's interesting because obviously in the situation that Ellie is in, she is too, but it's like on a different level where like, sure, yeah, like people kill people today, but like it's on a really different level, like with like raiders and, you know, infected and stuff like that. And so it's just kind of, it was interesting, you know, seeing the way that they handled it, because I do think it was handled very well, you know, while still making it clear that, hey, you know, David, the character, is a predator, without making it more like explicit and graphic, you know, like we've seen in other HBO shows. I know like there were a lot of complaints about, you know, I know it's not a game adaptation, but Game of Thrones, you know, there's a lot more sexual assault scenes in the show than there is in the books, you know, and again, I am a bit of a book to TV show or movie purist, but like just things like that I don't think are necessary. Showing violence against women, I don't think it furthers the plot, and so I think the way that Druckmann and Mason handled it was well done.
I think you're right. I feel like a lot of shows go for shock value when it comes to that, when it doesn't need to, because there's a lot, like you said, there's like implications or like different like music or like artful ways of explaining what's going on in that. Like with The Last of Us, like they weren't, like there was like graphic like blood and stuff, but like the actual situation was not as like shock value.
Exactly. The situation that contained, you know, like attempted sexual abuse towards a child was not explicit, which some shows do not do, you know. And so it was good to see that, like, you know, like, not that she was protected per se, but that, you know, they treaded lightly with that, because I think it is a topic that does need to be treaded lightly. It should be discussed, but it should be discussed with, you know, the respect and the care
and
that
also
it requires.
Like that, the actor, like Bella
Ramsey.
Yeah, like they were like very young.
Yeah, no, while they were filming, I think they were about like 16, 17, maybe going on 18. I think they turned 18 while they were filming the show.
Okay.
But it's still very young. You know, because I know when I turned 18, I still feel the same I did when I was 17. You know, I didn't feel any different. And so, you know, well, things, you know, within like legal, you know, legality changes, I don't think that it's just, I don't even know how to phrase it, because it's tough, you know.
It is tough, and it makes sense how they went about it, like filming wise, for that, also like for their age, because I feel like a lot of shows, even when they're young, like I think more shows in the past would do that, like shock value and like younger actresses or actors being put in those situations. Like you were saying, Game of Thrones. Who's the main lady again?
There's a lot of main ladies, but
the lady that was in Me Before You.
Oh, Emilia Clarke.
That's the
she
name.
Played Daenerys Targaryen.
Yeah, I know. I remember seeing an interview where she was like, yeah, I felt like I really had no voice or power to say that I felt uncomfortable with some of these scenes. So she would like still go through with it, because she didn't have those like people to go to being like, hey, I don't know about this.
Yeah, because they didn't have intimacy coordinators. That's like when they were doing show like that. That's a new concept, which is kind of terrifying given the themes within that show. You know, and so it's just like, oh my gosh, they're doing these these like graphic sexual scenes,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have someone on there being like, hey, like it's my job to advocate for the actors,
Yes.
you know, and like make sure everyone feels comfortable, especially when there's like cameras on you and multiple people on set watching it, you know. And so especially with like having to do like retakes and stuff like that, there's a lot of like controversy with that show. But I think, you know, The Last of Us, you know, it handled it well. And I'm proud to be a fan.
I'm proud to be a fan too, like, of the show. Like, once I watched the show, I wanted to watch like Let's Plays of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, what's going on here?
Yeah, no, they're great games.
I'm excited for the next season.
I know, me
I'm ready
too.
to see some more Pedro Pascal.
I know, they're filming right now, apparently.
Let's go find the filming location.
We gotta find him. I want to see Pedro Pascal.
The you know, like the TikTok edit, the viral one, where it's like, hey, sexy lady. Yeah.
No, because like the edits of Pedro Pascal blew up, and I'm not complaining.
I'm not complaining either.
Well, on the topic of, in my opinion, not good game to movie adaptations, we're talking about FNAF, or Five Nights at Freddy's. How did you feel about that? Because I know we have different emotions on it.
Yeah, we do have different opinions on it. I feel like I went into the movie not as, like, critical about it. I was like, you know what? They have a lot of stuff and lore going on in the games that I don't think they even know what's going on. So, like, when it came to the movie, I was like, I don't know what to expect. And I was really trying to keep my expectations low. But I think it was fun. I love Josh Hutcherson.
I do too. That was a high point, was looking at him.
Yes.
Because I loved him as PETA, but in
I love
Hunger
PETA.
Games... I love PETA Malark. But yeah, it was just... Because, like, my expectations were low,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but that didn't change the fact that, like, there was a level of disappointment with it as well. Because I know, like, I started watching Let's Plays of the game when I was in, like, the 4th or 5th grade, you know? And, like, I was watching Markiplier play Sister Location in the 5th grade. Maybe not the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, I don't know
But
about
it was done. And I was a fan of Markiplier and Five Nights at Freddy's till this day.
Honestly, same. I feel like I was very new to the FNAF, like, franchise because of Markiplier's Let's Plays, but I came in around, like, Security Breach. I think...
Oh, okay.
I know that's sort of late in the lore and stuff, but I watched a lot of Markiplier Let's Plays of that, and then I watched the whole series of him playing, like, all the games.
Oh, wow. Commitment.
Yeah, that's fun to watch.
Yeah.
That's, like you said, that's a big commitment compared to, like, a 2.5 hour or hour and a half. I don't know how long the movie is. There's a lot of information to put into that. And I think they're planning on making a sequel trilogy. I don't know how many movies they want to make, but hopefully they'll get more lore and, like, information in the coming movies.
Yeah, because I know one thing that I was critical about was that, like, because I know there are a lot of people who were fans when I was in elementary school, so it's people about, like, elementary school, middle school age, and now most of us are all adults.
Yeah.
You know, and so when the movie came out, it felt like it kind of catered to the fans that were still pretty young, you know, in terms of, like, it wasn't like the most kid-friendly movie, like, it wasn't rated a G, you know, but, like, it was kind of disappointing given, like, how, you know, dark the series can get. It's not like I wanted to see, like, anything happen to, like, children or anything, but, like, it was, like, there was, like, a mild disappointment in terms of just, like, okay, like, these are these, like, very, like, sometimes violent themes, you know, and it's just, like, it's interesting from a lore perspective, but it's also just, like, all right, you know, you can balance it out, but I feel like it leaned too much into, like, the kid-friendly side. You know, I was kind of looking for, like, a darker adaptation. So I think it is, like, an interesting, you know, perspective of, like, oh my gosh, there's, like, this guy going around killing kids in pizzerias, you know? And I thought it was weird that he made, like, Vanessa, like, the daughter, you know?
I feel like in the movie, like, the weirdest part was, like, when they built, like, a fort.
Yes!
I'm like, what is this scene?
I was like, what was going on?
What is this? I'm okay to critique that.
Yeah, because I was so confused. My friend and I, when the movie was announced, we're like, oh my gosh, you're going to come over to my house and we're going to watch it. And so we did. And, like, we had very low expectations. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of Blumhouse. You know, their movies as of late have been like very okay, and they've had some recent ones that I've heard really suck.
Yeah.
You know, I know like Night Swim and like Imaginary Friend, I've heard those were not very good, but like I also expected that, you know, because from the trailer and the fact that like Blumhouse has kind of been off it lately.
Yeah. I don't know. I personally am a scaredy cat. I don't like horror movies. So I think the amount of horror in the FNAF movie was okay for me. I was still on the edge of my seat. I'm not even kidding. I'm such a scaredy cat. I was like with a group of like 10 people. We all watched it together. And I was the only one that was getting jump scared.
Oh, no.
Everyone else was just laughing at me. Jumping from the like dumb jump scares that they have.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of horror. I think it's a testament to the fact that we watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre the same night we watched Five Nights at Freddy's. So, if that speaks to my taste, so be it. But I'm a big fan of horror, you know, and while the games aren't, like, gory at all, you know, like, there is no gore in any of the games.
Yeah.
You know, I guess, like, as gory as it gets is, like, the scooper room in Sister Location, you know? But it's just like there was still like a level of disappointment, especially with that fort scene. I'll never get over that. I'll never shut up about how much I hated that scene.
I wonder if they chose to have like a lighter feel in the this first movie, kind of to like, I don't know, have the audience feel like what it was for when you're playing the game, or how do I word this? Like, since like Five Nights at Freddy's like the actual like amusement is like, oh, we're fun and happy, and then like as you get further and further and further into like understanding it gets darker. So I wonder if the future movie or movies will get like more gruesome.
Maybe. I think that's definitely a way they could go about it, especially in terms of like making it up to older, you know, fans, if that's something that they wanted to do. But also like what I was thinking was like, even when you watch, you know, I've played a few nights of the first game before when it was on mobile, you know, my little iPad mini. But I know, like, it was terrifying playing, like, the first game, you know, and, like, I don't think that, like, kind of, I wish that terror was kind of conveyed in the game. So it's just like, okay, they're friendly to the girl, and because, you know, the girl's brother works here, they're friendly to him, too.
Yeah.
You know, and by extension, the cop kind of girlfriend, you know, Vanessa. And so I was just like, okay, like, sure, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, one thing I did like about it was the suits look really good.
Oh, yeah.
The suits look really good. I did like that a lot. I'm always going for more dirtier, grimier suits, but, like, overall, like, they look good. They were articulated really well, you know. Overall, I enjoyed that aspect, like, when we got to see, like, you know, the spring locks, like, the exoskeletons of the animatronics. You know, like, when you were going in the storage room and stuff like that. That was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah. I think they will get grimier as we get further in the movies, I bet.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a little disappointing given the fact that it was such an important game in my childhood, you know, but I mean, I guess there's still a chance for it to be redeemed.
I feel like in the games, you felt so much more on edge, even though I didn't play it, like watching the Let's Plays.
Yeah.
I think you felt more on edge, obviously, since you're, like, playing it, but I think like the music and like the constant like having to do this and that and that and that, I think in the movie you kind of lost that, since like you're not like the first person playing it, but also like it didn't feel fast enough.
Yes, I get what you mean.
Like I think the beats were like too long in the movie. Like I think they just needed to add more, like figure out their beat changes.
I get what you mean, because there were a lot of like lulls in the storytelling, because like I think one thing that's important to mention with a movie like Five Nights at Freddy's is that literally no one I knew expected to be good. You're allowed to cater to the fans of the movie like this. You know, The Last of Us, you know, maybe, you know, not so much, because like the fan base can get a little bit more intense with, you know, especially with like AAA games like that. But, you know, when we're talking about indie games, not that they don't have like strong fandoms, it's just that, like, we're kind of used to all this, like, randomness, because, like, if you keep up with the lore, like, if you watch MatPat, if you watch the game theory, you know, it's already insane. And so, like, I feel like they should have expected a bit more of us as viewers to kind of be able to take that in.
Yeah, I feel like that was all, I feel like that was a hard thing to balance and juggle for the people making the movie, because it's like there's a lot of new people who don't know a lot, but then there's a lot of people who know a whole bunch.
Exactly, you know.
So they kind of had to like, figure out a middle ground of sorts. But MatPat, his whole series of FNAF,
I know,
that's a long one. I don't think it'll ever end.
I mean, let's end with him because he's retired, but you know,
true.
You know, who's carrying on now. I mean, as long as the games are coming out, there's just gonna be something like crazy that Scott Cawthon's like, yeah, no, this happened too.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, sure, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, sure, why not?
But yeah, who cares?
In the mix.
Yeah, but I do understand what you mean about it not transferring well, because like, I mean, it's a point and click indie game. You know, I feel like that's a lot different than, you know, transferring a third person game like any of the Fallout games. You know, or at least Fallout 4 that I'm familiar with, or The Last of Us, 'cause like that's a third-person, you know, linear game.
Yeah.
You know, it's very different from adapting an indie game like Five Nights at Freddy's.
All these games have like a story to them, even if they're not always the clearest. There's a story. But you know, a movie that is announced that I don't understand the story of is the Minecraft movie. What even is that gonna be?
Oh no, because I remember when it got announced, I was just like, okay, I mean, this could work, sure.
Yeah.
But, like, how
are they gonna do this?
I know, because just, like, is it gonna be live action? Because, like, there's rumors of, like, you can see, like, people, like, they're making, like, the Minecraft trees.
Yeah.
But, like, it also could be a lie because people on the internet are, like, crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just, like, I mean, like, apparently, like, Jack Black and Jennifer Coolidge are both cast in it.
Yeah, I'm
like, allegedly.
What even... I don't even know what the story's gonna be.
I know.
Because what are you gonna do? Like, build? I like building. I like watching people play Minecraft and build things, or, like, do all these, like, crazy things. But if it's live action, like, what's the point of having it be Minecraft?
Exactly.
Minecraft's a block game.
Exactly. That's, like, part of the fun is that, like, you know, you get those, like, limitations, you know, but also just, like, the creativity of, like, everything you can do in the world. But, like, there's not much, like, lore to it. Like, there is some lore, but, like, it's also kind of obscure at the same time. Like, it's not relevant to, like, if you play the game, it's totally not relevant.
Yeah.
You can, like, play the game without understanding it, you know? But it's just, like, without understanding some of the lore and the previous games we talked about, you're kind of at a loss at some points in the game. But, like, that doesn't apply to Minecraft. You can just jump in and do whatever. I think that's why people have used it to, like, make things like Minecraft roleplays where it's just a blank slate to tell stories that they want to tell, you know, in this medium.
I'm kind of excited. If this is real, I'm excited to see what it is. I have literally no expectations. I don't have low or high expectations, just none.
Yeah, completely neutral.
Totally neutral. I want to see what's going on. I want to see the craziness that is Minecraft.
Because I know, like, we talked about it a little bit before we started recording, and we were just like, what? Like, what could you do with that? Because, like, we couldn't even think of anything. Because it seems kind of random in comparison to a lot of the other games that have been adapted in recent years.
Yeah, it really does seem random.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a big old fan base for Minecraft.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, a good amount of people love Minecraft.
Yeah, a lot of people.
It's understandable why they would want to make more money off of their fan base. But I'm like, how is this even gonna happen?
As an animated series, yeah, that could be a lot of fun, I think. Like an animated TV show, you know? But, like, with the live-action movie, I feel like it's gonna go down in history as, like, one of those, like, really, really, really bad adaptations. Like, it could go either way. It could be like, oh, it's so, like, bad, it's funny, or, like, oh my gosh, like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that would be cool, too. Even if it's bad.
Yeah, no, I'm still
gonna watch. I have played a lot of Minecraft throughout my years. What about you?
I played a lot of Minecraft. Got my dad into it, too.
Yeah.
I infected my whole family.
My family isn't so susceptible to it, but I didn't grow up playing a lot of video games. I don't know. I watched a lot of shows.
Yeah.
But didn't play a lot of video games. It was literally just Minecraft and Just Dance. I played Just Dance. I have, like, the original Wii, like the red Wii, like, handheld thing in the box and whatever. And to this day, I still sometimes play it. I really do. Now there's, like, lore to it.
Yeah, there is.
There's lore. It's, like, the guy from the Rasputin dance, like, was in a relationship with the dancer in Toxic, like, with Britney Spears, and, like, he cheated on her.
Ooh.
And then she, like, made a different dance.
Oh God.
To, like, get back at him. And then there's, like, this whole, like, I don't know what it's called. There's, like this traveler guy that goes through a whole bunch of the different
I think I know what you're
dances.
talking about.
And it's like, what even is this now? What is Just Dance?
Because, like, I think I've heard about that. Is like there's a couple in, like, in one of the later games, like, their kid is one of the dancers, you know, and he has, like, I think it's the traveler guy. Yeah. Like, he has a kid with another one of the dancers. It's just like, where are you getting this from? It's like, who's making this? I want to meet them.
I think there is a lore coordinator at Just Dance.
I want to have that job. I want to be a lore coordinator for Just Dance.
We need to interview the lore coordinator. Get them
if you see this, call us. We want to talk to you.
Yeah. Tell us what's going on. You don't have to tell us the secrets. Just, like, how did you get here?
How did your inspiration?
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, that could be cool as, like, an animated series, though. Yeah, I would like to see that. Because, I mean, there's a lot of, like, fun colors. And so I think that would be the best medium for it to, like, translate into. Yeah. Would be an animated series if they get the lore together.
Yeah, but I think that would be hard, especially since, like, there's so many songs and, like, royalties and stuff. It's
and the copyright issues too. If they put the songs in, that'd be so expensive.
Yeah, literally me just on YouTube being like, oh, I want to post something with, like, a little 10-second snippet of a song. YouTube be like, get that out of here.
Denied.
But yeah, I love Just Dance. I could play that all the time. I'm working out without actually thinking I'm working out.
It's like doing Zumba. My teacher used to have us do that when we were in, like, the 5th grade. She'd be like, okay, everyone push the chairs back. We're gonna, like, do the banana song or something. And then we'd dance. It'd be, like, special days. And we'd all be, like, really stoked for it. Yeah. Because we didn't have to do, like, math or something.
I love that. Did you ever do that, like, lesson in PE where it was, like, learning how to square dance or line dance?
I think we might have. I can't remember, honestly.
Like, do the electric slide. Yes. Don't get me wrong. I love that. I love dancing, so I passed those courses easily. But I'm like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, a bit random.
It really was.
Yeah, I'm not very good at dancing, so I had a problem with it when we had to do dancing in school. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm not a very good dancer. That's why I stick to video games.
I feel like I'm a pretty good dancer. Yeah? I'm not athletic.
Don't worry, never mind.
Yeah, I have more patience, like, learning how to dance or, like, doing moves than I do, like, playing video games. I'm really not good at video games.
No, don't worry, I get it, because, like, you have to be some type of, well, I'm not going to say weirdo, just a weirdo for me personally, to sit down and play Stardew Valley for 6 hours straight. My friend and I did that.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks ago, we sat down from, like, 5 to, like, 11, just playing Stardew. I think that was, no, like, it was more than, it was not, yeah, it was, like, 5 to 11, playing Stardew Valley.
Oh my God.
We went through, like, a whole season in one evening. And I was just like, yeah, no, we're done. We sold our stuff. We made bank. And then we logged off and didn't play for, like, another week.
Well, you know, sometimes games get you like that.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. It's so funny because my sister, we keep our console in the living room. Mm-hmm. And so she's always, like, playing. She's always sitting in the living room playing games. Oh, my gosh. Like, she, like, binge played all the Sony Spider-Man games. Over the winter, like, her winter break.
Yeah.
She played Spider-Man, she played Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then she played the Spider-Man 2 game. Like, it only took her, it took her less than a week. It took her less than a week to play all those games. And I'm just sitting there. I'd come out, see her progress. I go back in my room. I come out. She'd be, like, done with the game. I'm just like, all right.
That is commitment.
Yeah, she's committed. She's got, like, 80 hours logged on one of those games. Yeah. Yeah, it's intense. She's intense. I know, but I know one thing we want to discuss was other video game adaptations that are coming out, because there's a pretty long to-be-announced list.
Yeah.
There's, like...
These are, like, the years of video game, movie adaptations.
Yeah, because there's, like, Bendy and the Ink Machine, which is, like, a It's an indie game. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
Mm-mm.
No? Well, okay. Markiplier played it, so maybe watch his Let's
Okay,
Play when you get home.
I get it. I guess I gotta do that.
Yeah, but it's kind of an odd concept, but like it takes inspiration from like the very early Disney art, you know, when they were first doing concepts for Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
You know, it's very stylized. It's a very like I like the game visually speaking, you know, but like it's also interesting because like what are they gonna do with it? Because there is lore, there is a story, you know, but it's also just gonna be interesting to see what avenue they take it. Because with a lot of games, usually live action is not always the best way to take it, in my opinion.
I agree.
You know, especially when the games are stylized like Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
That actually does sound familiar.
Yeah, it might be. It was like, it blew up.
Yeah.
It was like one of those indie games that blew up and it got a sequel. A lot of people played it. Jacksepticeye played it too. You know, it's like a lot of people played it.
I also watch his FNAF Let's Plays. I guess I gotta watch more Let's Plays.
Yeah. I will never complain of watching more Let's Plays. Speaking of Let's Plays, wonderful transition that was. Markiplier's Iron Lung.
I've seen like announcements and like little bits and pieces about it. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting because I know like he's been doing like a lot of like the like visual stuff. That's not very specific, but like you know, like filming stuff, like live action stuff. You know, hate his Markiplier in Space, his little interactive series. Not even little, like they're getting to be really big projects.
Yeah.
You know, these interactive series on YouTube. You know, that'll get like released in multiple parts with multiple like different endings. You know, it's been something he's been doing for years, but like it's much more like concrete.
Yeah.
You know now, because of the way that like YouTube has updated and kind of like opened those allowances for creators.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's adapting it and I'm really excited to see it.
I think that's cool. Wasn't it like when he announced that he was gonna adapt it? Wasn't that like the time when like Watergate happened?
Watergate?
Do you remember when the submarine got lost?
That wasn't Watergate. That was not Watergate.
What
Watergate was with Nixon.
No.
In the 70s.
I thought, wait. No, but they said it was like a similar name.
Wrong gate.
Wrong name.
Wrong gate. I think it was Ocean Gate with the Titanic submarine.
That's the one.
Yep.
Pretend
Oh yeah, it was Ocean Gate. It was Ocean Gate.
See, water, ocean.
There's like Watergate. I'm just like, Iron Lung didn't come out in the 70s.
No, you know what I was talking about though. You know, look, my brain is not working the greatest today.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah.
Ocean Gate, yeah.
Ocean Gate, yeah.
And then there was like, oh, Markiplier, submarine.
Oh, I didn't know about that part.
I think I just saw like.
I'm not even surprised because people are crazy. People are crazy.
That was crazy what happened.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You know, I know we had watched the the Ryan Gosling SNL clip about the Avatar.
Yeah.
You know when he made the joke like, "Oh, James Cameron's probably at the bottom of the ocean." Were you there for the SNL clip?
No.
We watched this SNL skit in at the beginning of the class.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like Ryan Gosling's character freaking out about like the papyrus font.
Oh.
And so like he's like, "Oh my gosh, the logo for Avatar 2 is just papyrus bolded. Like this logo creator is a monster." You know, and he's like, "Oh, like where's James Cameron? He's probably at the bottom of the ocean." That's because James Cameron has made multiple trips down to the Titanic.
Yeah.
He's even been down to Marina's Trench, which is one of the lowest points in the ocean. He's just doing side quests. He literally didn't hear about 9/11 till after the fact because he was underwater.
Oh, I think I heard that.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
James Cameron is an interesting guy.
He is an interesting guy. He's very committed to his craft.
Yeah.
And apparently that's why he has so many ex-wives.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, let's see. For, like, some AAA games, Death Stranding is getting an adaptation. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that game.
No, what is it?
Let me think how to describe it now. But basically, it's kind of an odd concept, but, like, those are sometimes the best concepts.
Yeah.
But basically, like, what is his name? Have you ever watched The Walking Dead?
No.
The character, the face model and the voice actor plays a character in, I think it's, Norman Reedus might be the actor's name and not, yeah, Norman Reedus is the actor's name. He plays the character of Daryl in The Walking Dead. And basically, he transports these boxes. Part of the game is just, like, figuring out how to, like, handle, like, weight loads on your body. It's very odd. But yeah, no, so Death Stranding is getting an adaptation by A24. So I don't know much about the lore of the game, but A24 has been really consistently good.
Yeah.
Really consistently good. That doesn't make any sense. Consistently good in recent years.
A24? That's a studio.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'll watch it if it's actually to be announced. I'll watch it.
Yeah. Especially like A24. I feel like I don't know if this is a horror movie or not. I know they're really good at horror.
Yes, they are.
I literally will never watch Hereditary.
Oh, I love that movie. It's on my top 4 in Letterboxd.
I will never watch that movie. It's too scary.
Yeah, no, it is one of Ari Aster's scarier films.
I just can't do it. I can't do horror movies.
I get it. And then, speaking of horror, Until Dawn, Markiplier's Let's Play of that is also really good. I recommend you watch it.
Is it scary?
Oh, yeah,
No?
kind of.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, well maybe I won't watch that one. I'll watch the other ones.
Yeah, but Until Dawn, it's a fun game. It's also funnily enough, the moment I realized that they used real people's faces on characters in video games, it took me that long.
Oh?
It did not register in my head. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this guy looks like Jordan Fisher. I looked it up, oh my gosh, this is Jordan Fisher. I was like, oh my gosh, it's Rami Malek. Like, they had some, like, really talented actors in that game.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting.
I love when shows do that.
Yeah.
Or not games, like when they like, have you seen like the motion capture? Like,
Yeah,
scenes and
yeah.
stuff? Didn't, bring you back to The Last of Us real quick.
No worries.
Didn't, like, some of the characters, like the actual like video game actors and actresses, like they came back and like did cameos in the show?
Yeah. There was quite a few.
Like Ellie's actor is like the mom. Or
yeah,
something?
she played Ellie's actor. Ashley Johnson played Ellie's mom, Anna, in the show. Troy Baker, who voiced Joel, played one of David's henchmen. Actually, one of the men that was holding Ellie down. That was Troy Baker. So, and then there were some other cameos as well. Oh, the woman who played Marlene in the show played her in the game too. Like, she was like I think the only like double casting, so like, yeah, she played Marlene in the games and she played it in the show. She heard about it, and she was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this too. And so they cast her, and I'm just like, it was great. I loved her.
That is so cool. I love when movies do that, like when they take like the original like people from like the video games and bring them into it.
Yeah.
Unlike like the Super Mario movie. Did you watch that?
I did not watch it.
I watched that just for the meme of it. I don't know why they chose Chris Pratt.
I don't like him as voice actor, period.
I don't like him, period.
He is everyone's least favorite Pratt now. Not least favorite Chris. What other Pratts are there?
I don't know, but there's a lot of Chris's.
There's a lot of Chris's, especially in Marvel. They just keep casting Chris's.
They just love Chris.
Yeah, they just like Chris's.
If you just say, hey, Chris, someone will answer there.
Yeah, exactly. 3 people will turn around. And you're like, what?
Huh? Me?
The Sims movie. We were just talking about that.
Oh my goodness. Look, I have not played the video game because I'm scared I'm gonna get too into it. Like, I'll just forget about regular, like, real life.
That'll happen. The only reason I stopped for a while was because I had a glitch that made my sim angry at everything. And so she'd ruin every relationship she had. And so she died alone with her adoptive daughter hating her.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really sad. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, but I'm excited for that. That could be a lot of fun. I think it could be fun in the same way that the Barbie movie was fun.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like The Sims, I could see that game being like real life, like IRL people.
Yeah,
like doing that,
you
and
could definitely
like
see that.
speaking Simlish, or like it's like, oh, it's Simlish, and then let's translate it to English. Or something
that could be really, really fun.
That could be fun. I feel like that could be a real creative way, like just creative movie.
Yeah, and I know one game that I was really excited about getting adapted was Jack and Daxter. It's this older PlayStation game. I know my dad used to play it on like his like PS2 or PS3 and his PSP, which is like a little handheld PlayStation device. But it's being directed by the same guy who directed like Zombieland and Zombieland Double Tap. I'm not sure if you saw those movies, but
I've heard of them.
Yeah, and they're really funny. They're good movies. They're not scary, so I recommend them.
Okay.
Just a bit gory is all, but
that's fine.
If you can handle that, then I do recommend it. The only thing is, he also directed the Uncharted movie.
Oh, that's the one with Tom Holland and
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that's another Naughty Dog game, like The Last of Us. Another very loved Naughty Dog game, and everyone I know did not like that movie.
Yeah, I didn't hear that great of reviews for it.
Because what they did was they mashed up multiple different games, like different scenes from different games, and then into this like one movie. And I feel like with certain movies, I think, you know, with something like Fallout where there's like multiple games like that taking place in different time periods, it works to kind of just like start a new storyline at a different time period. But with something like Uncharted, it can also work to kind of take it not necessarily beat by beat, but do something like The Last of Us did, where like you're taking it beat by beat, but you're also expanding on areas that you wish you had expanded on when you made the game.
Yeah,
you know,
rather
in the first
than
place,
making it smaller.
Exactly. And so like just like expanding what you already have while keeping, you know, the things that made it good. And the Uncharted games are really good. They're entertaining action wise. Like there's a lot of fun things you could do action wise, and I have no qualms with the casting really, you know, because it's looking at a younger Drake and a younger, I can't remember what the name of Mark Wahlberg's character is.
I don't know.
But
either.
It takes a look at the younger version of their characters, you know, which I think is great, because I think it's something that happens in the game series too. I haven't finished the game series, but it's something that does happen there too. So that was just like, oh Lord, I was scrolling doing research for the episode. I'm just like, oh wow, Zombieland Double Tap, Venom, you know, was another movie he directed, and so Uncharted. I was like, ooh, not everyone liked that one. So Jak and Daxter, I'm not sure how the fandom is doing, but I know like it was a fun game to watch my dad play, so there is a little bit of nostalgia attached to it. So I do hope that it turns out well.
Yeah. So I guess there's a lot of movie,
there's a lot of
video
stuff coming
game adaptations.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited too.
I feel like you're like the expert in a lot of this, so you have a lot more expectations, and I'm over here being like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm also just a hater. I'm just like, I'm not sure I like this because this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
I'm a hater and a little bit of an adaptation purist, but that makes the conversations fun.
Yeah. I'm more of a neutral party. I'm like, ooh, it's fun. Or it's funny. Or, ooh, it's scary.
I'm just like, I don't like this because of this, this, and this. I know what I like and what I don't like, and I'm okay with that.
You know what? That's good. Being self-aware is always great.
Yes. Character development.
Character development. You are the main character.
Oh
you
my
are
gosh,
the main character of your own video game movie adaptation.
Oh my gosh. I feel so lucky. I don't have to be demoted to a side character.
Or like NPCs.
No, stop. NPC behavior.
Yeah. It's so funny when you like see it on TikTok or whatever. It's like, oh, they're just an NPC. Or like it's so dumb.
How are you the side character in your own life?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. People are funny. People are funny.
People are funny and interesting.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
We love people.
Yeah. Are you a people? the listener here?
We hope so. Maybe it's AI listening in. Dun dun dun.
Spooky.
Spooky scary.
That'd be weird if AI made like a video game. Sorry, I just thought of that.
Oh my gosh, wait. There is a game though where like you have to convince, it's like you're playing a game against AI, not in the same way where like you're playing against a computer when you're playing like Wii or something, like Wii Tennis or something.
Yeah.
But like you're talking to an AI and you have to like convince it to let you into its house. It's weird.
Are you like a vampire?
I don't know what you are, but you're something that's not supposed to be in the house. And I guess it's like invitation only, like we're in the Vampire Diaries or something.
Yeah.
Like you have to say,
you have to be
you
invited.
can come in. Exactly.
Yeah. Vampire Diaries. Not me watching Twilight this past weekend. Look, you're able to hate me for really unironically liking Twilight. It's just nostalgic to me.
Yeah, it's funny. I scored at the thrift store one time, and I got the whole saga on CD audiobook. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. And it's so funny because like Robert Pattinson hated those movies while he was in it, and like it was funny in its own way. But when you like listen or read the books, Edward is actually really funny. Like he smiles a lot, and I wasn't expecting that having watched Robert play him. But it was just like they're unironically one of my favorite things to like rewatch, even if it's just like skimming through it or listening to the books. It's so funny. And then Midnight Sun's really funny too, if you ever get the chance to listen to the audiobook for that.
Is that his perspective?
Yeah, that's the first book from his perspective. It's so funny because he just hates himself so much. He's just like, oh, like, woe is me. You know, oh my gosh, I hate my life. My family sucks. I hate my sister, Rosalie.
It's kind of crazy how, like, in the, like, early 2000s-ish era, there was a lot of, like, YA books to movie adaptation, like Twilight, like Hunger Games, and, like, all, like, Divergent.
Yeah.
But I feel like this era now, it's, like, video games.
Yes, definitely.
It's, like, what this generation grew up with.
Yeah. But, like, with, like, the dystopian stuff, I know we both love Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But, like, people joke that, like, the YA dystopian died with Divergent. Because, like, those books, like, so I watched, like, the first 2 movies, and they're not that great. They're funny at times, but they're not that great.
Divergent is what they wish that they were Hunger Games.
Exactly, but, like, a lot of, like, writers and, like, series wish they were Hunger Games, because, like, Suzanne Collins thought that through so, like, thoroughly.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, now people are uncovering, like, nuances, you know, even just the way that she handled, like, race and gender and class, you know, was, like, really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and so, like, I think it was really fun seeing kind of those aspects in, like, the newer movie, because, like, Katniss was supposed to have an Appalachian accent in the first movie. Everyone in their own district has their different accents. You didn't get that in the movies.
Yeah, I feel
you know, but you got it in the newer movie, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, Rachel Zegler was, like, talking with a twang.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it was cute. But, like, it's really interesting because, like, there's, like, those really big cultural differences in the districts. And there's some parts I wish they kept Peeta's disability. I really wish they kept that because it was such, like, an important kind of part of his recovery.
Yeah.
You know? And it's just, like, I mean, it's so, like, it's so complete, too. Because, like, one thing that one person mentioned with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes coming out was that because, like, she, like, tied it up so nicely, when you look at, like, fan fiction that's being written about it, like, it's mostly just, like, basically, like, epilogue stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, she's, like, there's, like, no missing pieces that someone felt they had to add in within the fandom. Like, it's mostly just people analyzing it as, like, a piece of, like, classic literature. Yeah, I love The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
I love The Hunger Games so much. So, there's so many different adaptations coming out recently. Season 2s to be announced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second movies, sequel.
Yes. It's very exciting, and whatever the Minecraft movie's gonna be.
Yeah, whatever that's gonna be. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'll tune in.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you.
I'm Kenna.
I'm Angelina.
And this is The Perch. We hope you tune in next time.
Yes. Hopefully we'll see you again. Or you'll listen again.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.